Welcome. Good morning and welcome to our June AT Talk. This morning we have with us Laura Hall and Tracy Strating talking about finding, trying, and funding assistive technology. Laura Hall has over 2 decades of experience working within the disability community. She has worked at Michigan Disability Rights Coalition for the past 9 years and is currently Program Director of the Leaders for Inclusion program and also works for Michigan's Assistive Technology program. Laura is a proud woman with a disability and is committed to dismantling systems of oppression that affect people with disabilities and the broader community. She is passionate about access to assistive technology as a tool for helping others develop disability pride and leadership skills and challenging the system that impede the civil rights of people with disabilities. Laura is a graduate of Michigan State University with a BA in Education and a Master of Social Work degree. Tracy Strating of MI-UCP manages the Michigan Assistive Technology Loan Program and the MI-LEASE program. Tracy has worked and advocated for over 25 years in the disability community. She has served on Self-Determination Project work groups, Recipient Right Committee, supported the Consumer Advisory Committee, served as co-chair of the Housing Resource Network. Tracy's past work includes options counseling to assist individuals to transition home from congregate facilities. Tracy has a BBA in Business Administration as well as extensive banking experience in lending quality assurance, lending regulations and procedures. She has worked on curriculum and provided trainings on financial education and credit repair. If you would like a certificate of completion or a sketch for this talk, please email me. I will put my email address in the chat. Welcome, Laura and Tracy.
Thank you. Well, welcome everyone. As Diane said, my name is Laura Hall, and I'm going to talk a little bit about the Michigan Assistive Technology Program today. But before I got started, I just wanted to know a little bit about who we have with us today. Just kind of get to know you a little bit. And this also kind of helped us. We have to collect data for our federal program, and so just kind of knowing who we have with us helps us keep our funding and able to do the things that we continue to do. So I'm curious who you are and where you're joining us from, what county you're joining us from, and what is your role? So are you a person with a disability? Are you a family member? Are you provide supports for people with disabilities? Who do we have with us today? Thanks for typing that in the chat. See a lot of MRS folks. Saginaw, okay. Saw somebody from the UP, Marquette. Thank you for that. And you can keep. Hey, Barb. Barb is a friend of mine. Good to see you. Okay, I think we can keep typing that in the chat if you haven't already. Thank you for doing that. That really helps us. So today's presentation is called Finding, Trying, and Funding AT. I'm going to describe the pictures on the slides in case anyone needs that accommodation. I know when you're sharing over Zoom, you're not able to get the alt text information. So the picture of the slide is of three people with disabilities baking together. You go to the next slide. So again, this is my information. I'm a program manager at the Michigan Assistive Technology Program. Every state has a assistive technology program, and in Michigan, it is located at Michigan Disability Rights Coalition. So if you need to reach me, my phone number, and extension and email are on the slide, as well as Tracy's. I think we can probably move to the next slide. Can we go to the next slide, please?
I did. You're not seeing it?
No, it's still on number 2.
Okay, hold just one moment.
Tracy, you need to start it from the beginning.
I mean, there's the beginning. Did it change? Let me stop sharing. I don't know why I'm having trouble. There, did it change?
Yes,
Okay.
thank you.
I did the same thing, but oh well.
So as I said, I'm from Michigan Disability Rights Coalition. Just to give you a little idea of what we do, our organization is staffed primarily by people with lived experience with disability. We run several programs, our biggest one being our Assistive Technology Program. We also have grants from the Developmental Disabilities Council to run some leadership programs. The other half of my job is working on a leadership program aimed at helping develop leaders aged 18 to 26. And we work with other organizations to advance the disability justice movement. And to give you a little bit more of an idea, our mission, I just want to go over it quickly. MDRC cultivates disability pride and strengthens the disability movement by recognizing disability as a natural and beautiful part of human diversity while collaborating to dismantle all forms of oppression. So, again, we are people with disabilities. We recognize that disability is not our only identity, and that as a community, the people who are members of our community are members of various other identities and communities which often experience oppression. And so, in order for us to have a true disability justice movement, we believe that we can't just focus on the disability portion of a person's identity, that we need to work and collaborate to break down all the forms of oppression that people within our community experience. Can we go to the next slide? Okay, so I wanted to talk just a little bit about assistive technology and what it is and how we define it. So we define assistive technology, or AT for short, as any item, piece of equipment, software, or app that's used to help people with disabilities, including older adults, do what they want to do. And a lot of people say, isn't all technology assistive? And I do think that's true, but what I think is the difference is that technology makes things easier for everyone, but for people with disabilities, AT really opens up possibilities. So, um, on this slide, we have some examples of some low-tech AT. So there's a medication reminder pill system box. We have a Great Grips doorknob turner, which can help folks that have trouble twisting the doorknob turn it easier. And then there's also a woman walking with a walker in the park. So our program provides AT-related supports around the state. We provide demonstrations and short-term loans of AT devices so that you're able to learn how the product works, compare and contrast the features, and then if you're looking to use if you want to borrow the item and try it for a little longer in your home to see how it works long term or see how it works in your environment. We have items available for short-term loan. We provide awareness information about assistive technology in our program. Trainings like we're doing today. Um, we help support the MI-UCP Assistive Technology Loan Program, which Tracy is going to talk about a little later in the presentation. We also host a website called atexchange.org. I like to call this kind of like a Craigslist of disability related equipment. So if you have a piece of equipment that you are no longer using and you're looking to either sell it or donate it um, to someone, another person with a disability perhaps, you can create a listing on our AT Exchange site, and then folks that are looking for that item get notices, or people that are signed up with the AT Exchange get every notice that comes up if something is posted. But folks that are looking for items can also post wanted ads to let folks know that they're looking for that item. And it's just a way to connect buyer and seller or donator and uh, person to receive the items. So this is a good way for people to receive used assistive technology. I recently used this myself not too long ago. Someone had posted up a shower chair that was a tilt in space shower chair, and it was something that I really desperately needed for my house and the way that my shower is set up, and was able to get that at a discounted price. I wouldn't have been able to afford it otherwise, and it was a way for someone to kind of pass on the technology to somebody else who really needed it. So if you have folks that are looking for use assistive technology, have them check out the AT Exchange. And that's AT, the letter X, the word change.org. And finally, I like to just say that our program is by people with disabilities, for people with disabilities and their allies. Finally, the picture on the slide is of two women talking over a computer screen. Can we go to the next slide, please? So just a little bit more about how the demonstrations work. So if you were looking to see what was available through our program or wanted to try out some devices or borrow something on short-term loan, it generally starts with us receiving a little bit of information about you, finding out what it is that you are trying to do or having trouble doing, and where you want to go, and then kind of collaborating with our AT specialist to talk about what type of technology would help support that. And then it would be individualized meeting with our AT specialist on how the product works and comparing and contrasting the features. Um, so it may be that there are a couple different devices that can achieve the same goal. Um, so it could be looking at both products to see which one might work best, and maybe we're looking at a variety of AT items to see how things can work in combination or even separately to help do what you're looking for. Um, so we have a dedicated phone number to our demonstration line. Um, I'm going to read that just for the purposes of the recording. It's 1-800-578 0280, and then a demo link, which is https://tinyurl.com/matp demo request. Okay, next slide, please. So, I wanted to talk a little bit about some of the benefits of AT, and I'm basing this off of some studies that were done some years ago, where people were receiving support coordination services, and one group of folks received um, some individualized support services around what kind of technology, assistive technology, would help them in their lives. Uh, the other group received these sports coordination services and some general AT, but not specifically focused on their needs. So what they found in these studies is that um, assistive technology is really the most effective strategy for helping us do what we want to do. They found that the folks that had the dedicated assistive technology had decline was slowed. There were fewer nursing home and hospital stays, greater functional independence, reduced falls. Um, it was a benefit because AT is available where and when you need it, and it's also part of self-direction and autonomy when you have assistive technology. Not saying that it can always take the place of another person, but um, being able to meet your needs in a way with technology on your own definitely leads to a sense of autonomy and directing your own lives. So that is a definite benefit of AT. In these studies, they use vibrating alarm clocks, motion detecting lights, assisted listening devices, toilet and tub bars, meal prep tools, walkers with wheels, seats, um, baskets and breaks, dressing aids, bed assist, so things to help folks get out of bed, photo phones. So this study was do, done some years ago when we still had landline phones that could have a picture on the phone. Same thing can still be done today with cell phones. Pill dispensers, and I just want to acknowledge that in these studies they found that 28% of hospital admissions for people who are age 65 or older are due to medication errors. So a pill reminder really can make the difference between a person living in their own home or having to live somewhere that is not their own home, either in a hospital or in a congregate setting. People have been able to move out of nursing homes with the setup of assistive technology and things like pill dispensers and reminder systems and those things. Um, Also, reminder devices were used in the studies as well as eating aids. And the picture on the slide is of some built up silverware and of a built up um, bowl with a higher side on one side than the other. So when it comes to choosing assistive technology, as I said, in our program, we always start with the person's goal. What is it that you're trying to do? What is it that you're not able to do now? And then research device options. What's out there? Not everything has to be high tech. So sometimes there are some low tech solutions that you may not have thought of that can be a lot easier than trying to find something higher tech, or maybe something higher tech is needed. So just kind of taking a look at what's out there. Knowing your environment is important. So a colleague of mine has a story that she used to acquire assistive technology for folks in her role as a nursing facility transition coordinator, and used to get everyone the same shower seat. And then realized that that doesn't work for everyone's shower, so you really have to kind of look at your environment and see what's going to fit, what's going to be most comfortable, what's going to work in your daily lives, and then review your resources. So this would mean what financial resources are out there, what programs are you connected to that may be able to finance assistive technology? Can you finance it on your own, or do you need assistance? Do you have friends and family to help with setup and installation? And what other programs can help get that arranged for you? The picture on this slide, it was a just a detective holding a magnifying glass. Okay, so I'm going to give a few examples of some products that we have available through our program for demonstration and short-term loan. This is by no means all of our products. It's kind of a smattering just to give you an idea. So I'm just going to describe the pictures. In the top left-hand corner, we have an automatic jar opener. So this will go around a jar, goes underneath the lid. You push the button and it twists and opens the jar on its own. Which can really help folks that are unable to do that twisting. In the top middle is a picture of a device called Liftware. Liftware is a product that helps folks who have tremors or who are unable to hold silverware or eating utensils steady. It's got a I want to say gyroscope kind of mechanism in it, a motor within it that helps keep the utensil steady no matter which way you're turning it with your hand. I've actually have one of these for demonstration at my house, and I've tried turning upside down in all different directions, and it will stay at that steady level. The next device in the upper right-hand corner is a multi-opening device. So there's a jar opener that you can use. There's a bottle opener. It has a bottle opener for the pop tops that where you need to actually break off the metal top. There is a razor blade in the open part of the jar opener where you can use that to open bags. And then the pointed part on the end is for helping to open those packaging that's often on medication that you can't peel back. Um, so it's easier to help score that and peel that back. So that's a nice kind of example of a piece of low-tech AT that has many different functions. In the lower left-hand corner, we have a large pizza cutter with it's one of the OXO good grip pizza cutters. A lot of times folks just think about this for pizza, but this can actually help folks to cut sandwiches or cut vegetables. If they're only able to use one hand, they can use that rocking motion. If chopping is a problem, um, a good pair of sharp kitchen scissors can also help with chopping. So just kind of showing different ways that you can use general products. Um, the uh, the green product that is next is called the Veggie Chop. So you put all your veggies in this device. It's got the razor blade in the middle. You pull, there's a string that you pull and it spins and chops all the veggies up. Um, so that is an easy way to chop. And then finally on the lower right-hand corner, we have a picture of a person using a tabletop oven. So the AT program, we have purchased several of these tabletop ovens. Some of them work with the smart speakers like Alexa. Some of them have options where they have subscriptions where you can buy the food already packaged up and it's got a barcode on it and the oven is able to scan the barcode and know exactly um, how long to cook the food and at what temperature. So for a lot of folks, just having that assistive technology in an accessible place where they can reach it can make all the difference. Can we go to the next slide, please? So, some of the types of assistive technology that we have, I think I actually meant to move the slide up one, so I apologize if it seems a little disjointed, but types of assistive technology that we have. So AT for community living, some of the things that you've seen already, things to help with waking, grooming, dressing, eating, cooking. We have AT for low vision, AT for mental health and neurodiversity, and I'm going to talk a little bit more about what that means in a minute. We have a newer program, AT for outdoor recreation. So we have an outdoor recreation specialist, and we have assistive technology for hunting, fishing, camping, bird watching, hiking, any any outdoor sport that you can think of. Um, our outdoor recreation specialist has worked hard on finding really amazing assistive technology for helping people get out into the outdoors, and I'm going to talk a little bit more about that later. Actually, all of these a little bit, but we have AT for gaming, so that not only includes video gaming, but also card games, tabletop games. You know, uh, we have adaptive Dungeons and Dragons score sheets. I don't know if we have any D&D fans out there, but So that is kind of taking off, especially with younger folks and folks that really like to engage in gaming. AT for gardening. This is one of my specialty areas. I really love gardening, and I was looking for ways to be able to tend to my garden more independently, and just did some research and came out with a whole host of stuff that can help with gardening and getting outdoors and doing what you need to do. And then finally, we have AT for environmental controls. So these are things like the Alexa smart speakers or Google Home or using an app, for example, to turn on your lights or help lock and unlock your doors or even again, you can use the ovens that we have with Alexa. We have a vacuum cleaner, one of the Roomba vacuum cleaners that work with the Google Home and the Alexa. So just ways of controlling your environment in other ways that are that are typical. So using an app, using your voice, using some other way to control the environment. Can we go to the next slide? Thanks. So again, just kind of going back to some of this AT for community living, some examples of some things that we have. One on the top left is just a simple handheld shower head. This can really help folks, and they don't realize that this is pretty low tech and easy to get. Um, the second picture is of a vibrating alarm clock. So the vibration part goes underneath your mattress, and it's an extra loud alarm clock that also uses the bed shaker. The next two pictures are pictures of a lotion applicator. So a long-handled lotion applicator, so it comes with a top that you can put your lotion in, you put the top back on, and then can use that to roll the lotion up and down your legs. So this can also work for ointment or something else that you might need as well. Um, if you have, if you wear a compression hose, or you know folks that do, this next product might be of interest on the far right. This is called the Don and Doffer. So this is the device to help put on and off compression hose. Basically, it comes with this cylinder shaped object where that you can roll the hose down uh, with a rubber guide, and then when you take that off, the compression hose is rolled around the rubber portion, and then you take the rubber portion and then use that to roll it up and down your leg. So I hope that makes sense the way that I described that. If anybody has questions about that, I have a YouTube video that shows that very well, how that all works. In the lower left, we have a product called the Freedom Wand, and I think this is the item that helps with toileting. We don't talk a lot about assistive technology to help in the bathroom, I think because it's, for whatever reason, kind of a taboo, embarrassing topic, but really finding that folks really do need this type of technology and help in the bathroom, and it is available. So um, the Freedom Wand can hold toilet paper or wipe. It can also hold a loofah for bathing, so if you need something long handled to help with bathing, this could be an option. It has able to hold a razor or a cotton ball for ointment application. And I like this one because there are different versions of this out there. This one has that green lever kind of in the middle where you push up and it opens these fingers, and then when you pull it back down, it'll lock the fingers in place. So that's the Freedom Wand. Um, the next photo we have is something called a hip kit. So if you're an OT, I don't know if they're still sending people home with these when they have hip surgery, but these are still around. We have long-handled sponges, a dressing stick that can help people with dressing, a reacher. By the looks of it, it's not a very good reacher, but reachers are very important. Long-handled shoehorn. Um, there is a sock aid, so you can put your sock on the sock aid, toss it down to your foot. It's got straps that you can pull up on once you get your foot inside. to help pull the socks up. And then there's also in this picture some elastic shoelaces, which can make it so that folks don't need to worry about tying or untying their shoes. And then finally, another piece of low-tech AT on the slide is just a talking alarm clock or a talking reminder clock that if folks just need an auditory cue or have a vision disability, talking clocks can help a lot as well. Can we go to the next slide? So a few things for mobility. This is for getting kind of up out of bed, getting out of the car, things like that. On the top left, we have a product called the swivel seat. This is basically um, a cushion that's on top of a plastic device that swivels, so it can help get in and out of the car. Um, Folks have also told us that they can achieve the same thing using some plastic bags and other things that are slippery. For some folks that works, and I think for some folks you need something a little bit more helpful like the swivel seat. The next three pictures are of a product called the Handy Bar. So this, if you look in the kind of the lower right hand corner, I have a close up picture of this, and it fits in the lock of the lock of your door, the where it clasps, and provides a really firm bar with which you can use to help get out of the car. It also doubles as a seatbelt cutter in case of an emergency, or you can use the handy bar also to break a window if you're in a state of emergency and need to get out of your car. So let's go back to the lower left-hand corner. This is a Versa cart, so it's a canvas kind of cart that's on a stroller-like frame. It's very lightweight. It has a lid on the canvas bag that zips. Um, Very helpful for folks that are trying to do grocery shopping. I've actually used this in the store myself with my power chair. It's light enough that I can steer it with my power chair. It also folds up, so it's nice and compact and portable. Um, and the next to that we have something called the bed caddy, which is kind of that ladder. It's a the it's a ladder that hooks at the end of your bed, sorry, and made out of canvas that has different rungs that you can use to pull yourself up and into a sitting position. Next to that we have, oh, sorry, can we go back? Thank you. We have a leg lifter. So this is basically a piece of wire that is shaped so that it can fit your foot and then covered with a canvas cloth with a handle that you can slip around your foot and then use the handle to lift on your leg and move it in different directions. Next to that, finally, is some furniture risers, which can be helpful for folks that have difficulty getting off the couch or getting out of bed if things are too low. I actually just purchased some of these for myself because I have a Hoyer lift, and my bed had traditionally been very low, which was helpful. But after I had surgery, I needed a Hoyer lift, and the Hoyer lift wouldn't fit under my bed anymore. And so these were about, I think, $15 and able to raise my bed up 3 inches, and it's made all the difference in the world. Next slide, please. So I want to talk a little bit about our assistive technology for neurodiversity. And so we have assistive technology that helps with executive functioning. So sometimes folks that have trouble with executive functioning are just kind of getting started um, on tasks. Technology that uses visual or auditory cues, maybe some of those reminder systems, or we have something called the time timer, which is a clock that shows you how much time you have left um, within a certain period with a big red slice that shows you, the time that is gone. So some people really need those visual or auditory cues. Um, Having things that can help guide you through a task step by step can be helpful, and I'm going to talk a little bit more about that in a minute. transitioning through tasks, so things that can help kind of let you know when a change in tasks is coming up so that you can get ready for that in transition. And also products that help with organization, reminding, and sensory processing. Can you go to the next slide, please? Thanks. So we talk about like step by step in transitioning. There are there's some apps out there that allow you to, and this is an example of one of them. I'm blanking on the name of this app right now. It's called I'm not sure. Sorry, I just blanked out on it. But there are several like this. This one in particular allows you to take pictures, use the audio, and also use text to help outline the tasks that are due for the day. It's also got reminders in there. So not only are people getting the auditory cue, they're getting the reminder cue, and they're getting the visual disability. Sorry, the visual visualization of what it is that the task is. So if people need step by step, this is also an app where you can put pictures in, say you want to make coffee. So there may be a step of filling the coffee pot and then how to measure the coffee and then putting the coffee in the coffee pot and then pushing the start button. So um, this allows you to kind of lay that out step by step. And if I remember the name of this during the presentation, I will definitely put it in the chat. I'm so sorry that I blanked. The next product is just, it's actually a talking photo album, which started out for us as something that we would use with people with low vision. And as we were using it, we realized that it allows you to put pictures in it and also record short audio messages on each page. And so you could also use this as a way to show step-by-step instructions if someone is less tech savvy or just really needs a better a physical a physical product to flip through. This could be a way to help with that step-by-step. The time tracker is one of these products that can help with transitioning. So you can set the amount of time that you need to spend on a task. It has your total time listed on the LED display, and then will turn from green to yellow to red as the time expires, so that to give the visual cue that if it's on yellow, I need to start spending some time getting ready to transition. So just again giving people that cue. Can we go to the next slide, please? Okay, so AT for mental health. Um, there are more and more things coming out for mental health. A lot of what we have and are able to help people with and show are apps that um, can help take you through breathing techniques. So one of the apps with the symbol here, BR, is Breathe to Relax. So this actually takes you through breathing exercises um, and helps you time them out. Um, PTSD Coach is actually an app through the VA, which helps you log your PTSD symptoms and also provides some management strategies for PTSD. Um, Calm is another app, and this is one that I use on my phone. It has a variety of different different ways to just kind of help with anxiety. It has a lot of different tracks to help with breathing, nature sounds, sleep stories. If you need help with sleeping, there are people that actually tell you a bedtime story. Can also just kind of help manage that in the moment. And then we have a weighted blanket on the far right. For a lot of folks, weighted blankets can be a way to help kind of manage anxiety and PTSD. Can we go to the next slide, please? Thanks. So I want to go back to the environmental controls that I talked about a little bit earlier. Um, Specifically talking about devices like Alexa and the Google Home. So generally, these are smart speakers. Now, both Alexa and Google Home have a screen, which they call a smart display, which allows you to watch videos, make phone calls, um, read books, see recipes, all sorts of things on the screen. You can make and receive video calls hands-free. Um, Alexa has a drop-in feature, so if both parties agree to it, um, you can enable your Alexa if you have a loved one and you just want to drop in and see how things are going, or you haven't heard from them in a while. You can ask Alexa to drop in, and it'll show you what is in the view of their Alexa screen. I gave my sister permission to do this even though we're not in an emergency situation, and she loves to just drop in all the time and say hello. So um, you can send and receive text, photos, and video messages hands-free. You can display photos. Um, you can use the smart speakers to control compatible devices. So, for example, like I said, um, we have the vacuum, the coffee maker, the oven, all sorts of things are now becoming more compatible with Alexa, where you can say, Alexa, start the coffee, and the coffee maker will start. And then, of course, a lot of folks like to use these to watch their streaming shows through Hulu, Amazon Prime Video, Netflix, that kind of thing.
So I just wanted to let you know, Laura, we're at 18 minutes left for the presentation.
Oh, okay. I'm
Okay.
sorry.
No worries.
We can skip this slide. We can go to the next one. So, just some AT for gardening, some ergonomic hand tools. There's a watering wand. This is something that I like to use. Allows you to use your thumb instead of using the nozzle that you have to hold down to spray. We have a kneeler. This can be either a kneeler or a seat, depending on which way you flip it. And then finally on this slide is a hand tool with a arm cuff that allows you to use your forearms instead of the whole thing. AT for gaming. I'm sorry that I'm going through these quickly. I want Tracy to be able to get to her slides. I apologize. Um, this is the Xbox Adaptive Gaming Kit. So there's an adaptive controller as well as the Logitech Gaming Kit, which comes with a variety of switches that you can plug into the back of this controller that takes the place of certain buttons on a regular controller. So you can use a switch or a lever or different ways to control the controller other than the way that it was originally designed. And then AT for parenting with a disability is a new area that we're getting into. It's not talked about a lot again. So we have a front carrier. We have a pacifier that can help take temperature if it's hard to take temperature. Um, this is next to that is a feeding spoon that you can use to squeeze the food instead of trying to use a spoon. Or when kids get old enough, they can use that themselves. And then this other one is a baby monitor that's used as a wristwatch and has different ways that you can see the baby with the wearable technology. And then finally, I think this is my last one. AT for outdoor recreation. We have an electric bike program, so that is helping to get folks out to where they need to go if they are looking to get in the outdoors. We have 7 electric bikes. We have adaptive equipment for fishing, camping. The second picture is some extendable roasting sticks. We've even found some that will rotate themselves with the marshmallows. And then if you're interested in things like bird watching, we have various binoculars, adapters where you can put your phone on the binoculars so that you can see uh, further. Next slide. We can skip through these. These are just some examples of where you can get some of these products. If you have any questions, again, my email's at the end. Here are some places where you could go to look toward funding for assistive technology. And of course, Tracy's going to talk about the her program. So take it on, Tracy.
Okay. Let's see if I can get the video going here. All right, thank you very much, Laura. I want to encourage everyone. I'm going to go on and talk about the Michigan Assistive Technology Loan Fund, but I want to take a moment just to ask folks who did not reply at the beginning to identify yourself, if you didn't provide it in the past, and also what county you're in and what your role is, whether you're a person with a disability, a representative of a health agency, or other type of agency, a family member, that sort of thing. So if you'd put that in the chat, we'd very much appreciate it. One of the things that we have to do for a lot of our programs is gather that type of information, which helps us to be able to provide more to you. So if you didn't do it in the past, please go to the chat now and put that in. So I'm going to talk a little bit about our programs. The Michigan Assistive Technology Loan Fund is available to Michigan residents. And what I help with is helping you, the person, to build a plan for obtaining the assistive technology that they're interested in. I also want to let you know that I'm going to talk about a couple of ways that we fund AT at the moment, but there are new exciting opportunities coming to fund assistive technology. So I am going to ask you either to get in touch with me, and my information will be on a slide toward the end of the presentation, or to feel free to give information to anyone that you assist, to give me a call so that I can talk to them, or an email so that I can talk or share with them ways to help them to get the assistive technology that they need. These are some programs of MI-UCP. It's important to know not only do we have the Michigan Assistive Technology Program funding, but we have other programs as well. We have a Ramp for Independence program. We have the AT program. We have information and referral around all disabilities and disability needs. We have the Bellows Fund grant. We provide person-centered advocacy, and that includes a lot of different types of advocacy, including parent advocacy for school district. We provide representative payee services for folks who are unable to take care of their own money. And we also do benefits counseling. So it's important to know that those types of things, including the information and referral, are things that you can count on us to be experts on and help you with. So when I talk about our loan fund parameters, right now there's no minimum for that loan fund, although we do have some options that can be better for folks that I'm going to talk about in a moment if they need a smaller amount of money. And at the moment, a $30,000 maximum. I do expect that to change shortly, so do contact me if you're interested in or have someone who's interested in applying for a loan to fund assistive technology. We can go out further than traditional lending, so out up to 84 months to help to make the payment more available. We do credit reporting on that can help to rebuild credit. The loan guarantee that we can offer, we have a loan committee that makes that decision about whether or not to use the funds we have on deposit for that purpose to guarantee a loan for someone who, because they might have a lower credit score or issues with past credit or a higher debt to income because their income is lower, we oftentimes can guarantee loans that a financial institution would generally not approve. Here's the link to where they can currently apply for that loan. I can share that with people. I can actually send them an active link where they can click by email to make application. We also have an accommodation where a banker can take the application over the phone if needed. I do like to talk to folks before they apply because I want to help them to figure out what their gross income number is. And a lot of times people have questions about whether they should apply alone or with a family member based on how much they're borrowing. I might be able to help them to figure out what way would be best for them to apply. And there's a couple of things in the application that can be confusing for people. So it's useful for them to contact me so that I can go through with them what they need in terms of a payment and how they might apply to make it an effective tool for them to get the assistive technology that they need. The other thing that I want to share with you is it's not my job to get someone in debt. That's not the purpose of what I do. I spend a lot of time looking for other types of resources and have helped a lot of people to get other types of resources through a multitude of things that are available depending on where they live, what type of AT they need, and what their disability is sometimes, and where they get services. So those are all things that I can gather and then help that person to explore ways to either fund what they can other ways and then use the loan fund as an adjunct to that, or to help them to know how to apply and how best to structure their application so that they can successfully get the resources that they need to meet their AT plan that they wish to have. The other thing that I do is work in conjunction with agencies like Michigan Rehabilitation Services. Once you're working through your plan, you may have in mind a different device than the device that's considered to best meet your needs. So I work with MRS to help someone say, as an example, that they've been approved for a laptop and the one that best meets their needs is not the one that I might choose. So if I want a MacBook as an example, but what's available in my plan is something else, we can combine and add the loan program as an adjunct to what's in your plan so that you can purchase the equipment that you want to have, and increases your choice and control over what you can have as a piece of AT in conjunction with other resources. So that's one thing that I've done in the past for folks. We have our mini loan program, which has a maximum of $2,500. That's the equipment only. It can go a little bit over that with shipping, installation, that kind of thing. There's a 24-month term. There's no interest on that loan. It's self-funded by us. There's a 1% fee at the loan close, which means up to $25. So if you're borrowing $2,500, your fee is $25. And there's no interest. And then you have the equipment and you're using it the whole time. Ownership of the equipment is transferred after you make the 24th payment. So we do a lot of those for equipment for folks. So it's a great way to get equipment, not have it cost a lot. Here's the way that's calculated. The fee on the is calculated on the equipment only. And then there's the purchase price, and then that would be a monthly payment of $101.83. That's just an example of the way that works. So I tried to really rush through that. So here's Laura and I's information, and I hope that everyone who's participated has had an opportunity to say where they're from. Let me stop sharing for a moment. Does anyone have questions that they've written in the chat that we need to talk about? Let's look here. Laura, they've asked you to put a link to the YouTube for the compression hose helper. They say that would be helpful. If you could put that in the chat, if that's possible. If not, you might contact Laura and she'd be happy to do that for you. Let's see if I see any other questions. Yes, the presentation is available in a document that we'll put here in the chat, or you can reach out and we'll be happy to send you that document. We have a document This presentation will be available on our YouTube channel. It generally takes a few weeks before it appears there. So if you want someone to see it who did not see it, you're more than welcome to take a look at MI-UCP's YouTube channel. I'm looking to see if there are any others. Okay. Well, if you have a question that's back there, because we have a lot of stuff in there, let me know, and we'll answer it here before we go. I do want to tell you a little bit. First of all, I want to thank Laura. It's always a bright spot in my day when we present together. Laura's one of my favorite people, so it's fun to do that together. So thanks, Laura.
Thank you.
And then I want to tell you all about next month. Next month, Peter Grand, who's the co-founder of My Universal Vision for Everyone, MOVE, an industry leader in the innovation, development, and implementation of the first universally built and fully inclusive mobility technology, is presenting for us. Peter has extensive experience in identifying, attracting, and thoughtfully relating to key stakeholders required in the development of thriving transportation ecosystems. The presentation is about how community organizations can use technology to collaborate with their members, partners, service contractors, and local governments to close the gap in affordable, safe, reliable, and client-centric transportation options. So we ask that you join us on Thursday, July 14th at 10 a.m. for designing resilient mobility ecosystems with communities. I just wanted to be sure and say that while we still had you all here. Do we have any questions come up? Okay, I said there were two new.
The link for the Don and Doffer is in the chat.
Okay, great. All right, so if anybody has any more questions, we're happy to answer those at this point. I want to make sure we gather. And anyone who's not put your county and your identifying information in the chat, if you do so, we'd sure appreciate it. So thank you all for joining us. We very much appreciate having you here. And if you have questions, please reach out. We're happy to help. Thank you. Have a wonderful rest of your day. And anyone, if you go ahead and put in which county you're with and what how you identify as a person with a disability or an agency representative, we'll be here to gather that. So feel free to do that. And for the rest of you, thanks for attending.
Okay, I think I got everybody's information. Thanks, everyone. Have a good day.
Thank you.
Bye.